We've already created a video about emergency preparedness for your pets, but how about horses or livestock? In this video, we first cover an emergency plan for horses, and then we'll discuss plans to minimize the danger to livestock in a disaster scenario. We'll be referring to the emergency planning guidance put out by the Humane Society of the United States, and we encourage you to visit their website for more valuable information. Horses require extra consideration in disaster planning, according to the Humane Society, so let's discuss the steps you should take now so that you're prepared when a disaster happens. Call your county and ask if they have an emergency shelter or location for animals. While many landowners with facilities often step up to provide shelter for animals during disasters, the best thing you can do is to figure out your options before an emergency happens. Call local animal control to flag your property so it's on the radar of emergency officials for assistance. In the event you've had to leave animals behind in an emergency, there's a higher chance of someone checking on them if animal control has been notified. If you have a horse or large animal at a boarding facility or barn, ensure there's a disaster plan in place to notify owners and/or provide evacuation if necessary. This helps ensure some order in an otherwise confusing and stressful time. Ensure locks on barn doors are operational and easily opened in the event of an emergency. If you're not on site when the animals need to be evacuated, it's imperative that emergency personnel can get access to them. Ensure you have enough vehicles or trailers to move the number of horses at your facility. If you don't have enough transportation, figure out who can help now before an emergency happens. Check with local haulers for availability during disasters. When using transport by unknown haulers during the emergency, collect contact information, vehicle identification, license plate, and driver's license. Permanently identify each horse by tattoo, microchip, brand, or photograph. In your records, include the horse's age, sex, breed, and color. Keep this information with your other important papers in your general emergency plan. Keep halters ready for your horses. On each halter, attach a luggage tag with the following information: the horse's name, your name, email address, your telephone number, and another emergency telephone number where someone can be reached. Place your horse's Coggins test, veterinary papers, identification photographs, and vital information such as medical history, allergies, and emergency telephone numbers, like your veterinarian, family numbers, etc., in a watertight envelope. Store the envelope with your other important papers in a safe place that will be easy for you to access so you can take them with you when you and your horses need to evacuate. Practice loading your horses into a trailer so they become comfortable with the procedure. During times of heightened stress, horses may be easily spooked, so practicing trailering is imperative. Have a backup plan in case it's impossible to take your horses with you when you evacuate. Consider different types of disasters and whether your horses would be better off in a barn or loose in a field. Your local humane organization, agriculture extension agent, or local emergency management agency may be able to provide you with information about your community's disaster response plans. Share your evacuation plans with friends and neighbors. Post detailed instructions in several locations, including the barn office or tack room, the horse trailer, the barn entrances, to ensure emergency workers can see them in case you're not able to evacuate the horses yourself. Prepare a basic first aid kit. Be sure to include enough water, 12 to 20 gallons per day per horse, enough hay, feed, and medications for several days for each horse. Evacuate as soon as you can. If you wait until the last minute to evacuate, emergency management officials may tell you that you must leave your horses behind. Plan for your livestock. Write down a list of emergency telephone numbers. Here are some resources to consider: your employees, neighbors, veterinarian, state veterinarian, poison control, local animal shelter, animal care and control, county extension service, local agricultural schools, trailering resources, and local volunteers. Include a contact person outside of the disaster area. Give it to everyone involved in caring for your livestock. Make sure every animal has durable and visible identification. Ensure that poultry has access to high perches if they're in a flood-prone area, as well as food and clean water that's above the potential flood line. Consider removing barbed wire and rerouting permanent fencing so that animals may move to higher ground in a flood or to low-lying areas during high winds. Install a hand pump and obtain enough large containers to water your animals for at least a week. Identify alternative water and power sources. A generator with a safely stored supply of fuel may be essential, especially if you have electrical equipment necessary to the well-being of your animals. Secure or remove anything that could become blowing debris. If you have boats, feed troughs, or other large containers, fill them with water before any high wind event. This prevents them from blowing around and will also give you an additional supply of water. If you use heat lamps or other electrical machinery, make sure the wiring is safe and that any heat source is clear of flammable debris. Label hazardous materials and place them all in the same safe area. Provide local fire and rescue and emergency management authorities with information about the location of any hazardous materials on your property. Again, this information was sourced from the Humane Society of the United States. If you have animals, we encourage you to check out their website and make a plan now, before an emergency happens. This wraps up another Make a Plan video in our Emergency Preparedness series. Check out our website for links, resources, and videos to help you learn more about getting informed, making a plan, building a kit, and staying informed as it relates to your own family's preparedness.